Malachi Moreno is the number one center in the class of 2025, which I actually want to dig into a little bit more because he is only the 28th rated player in the country, according to 24/7, four-star kid. They have him as the number two center in the country. On three, I believe, has him as their number one, but I think they have him like 17th. So in general, like no elite bigs in the class of 2025 is the interesting thing to me. Like we love the class of 2025, but is there not like a slam dunk, no brainer star center in this class apparently? Unless we view Malachi Moreno as that.
Well, it's also given where basketball got. Like, do people consider Chris Sinak a center?
Right, more hybridy forward types this
Yeah,
year.
more like hybridy forwards. If they're like, but I think Malachi might be one of the more true like centers, I guess.
Yeah. Malachi's height is in question. 24/7 lists him as 6'11", 230. I've seen him listed as 7'1". I think he's a legitimate 7 foot, based on just picture and video of him. He looks huge. He visited Kentucky along with Jasper Johnson. He just wrapped up a Kentucky visit. He is a state of Kentucky kid from Georgetown, Kentucky. I will say, feels notable to me that two of the biggest Mark Pope targets in his first big class are Kentucky kids. That seems like a bit of good luck if he could keep the in-state kids in state. This is the first time we've talked about Malachi Moreno on the channel. He does have offers. You go through his offer list in the past. North Carolina, Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Florida, Creighton, Baylor, Arkansas, Alabama, Purdue. A lot of schools that we like talking about from Malachi Moreno. Seems like pretty much everybody wants him. Do you like his game?
I do like his game. Just because one thing I do give him credit for is I think that he's kind of just. And I don't mean this as a slight to him. I think he knows that he's a 7'1" center. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of guys that I think try to play outside their game, and I think there's some actual tools there where he could develop into a guy that could maybe be like a stretch center or at least respectable from that spot. But I don't think you can teach his size and his mobility for a lot of kids his age. And I'm actually going to take a moment here to pump some Mark Pope propaganda.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't warn you about this before we got on here. I actually love Mark Pope's approach so far because, you know, I do eventually think that he needs to be in the recruitment for every 5 star that there is because it is Kentucky, right? Kentucky should be getting 5 stars, even if Mark Pope is the coach, right? But I give him credit for also like knowing what's in his wheelhouse. Like he's a guy who played at Kentucky. So if there are guys that are in the state of Kentucky that he can lock down that are high talent kids, then he should do that. That's not like a layup for him. I think that he's identifying that he might have a leg up in that area and he's attacking that and making sure that he gets those guys. Now, is he going to get Jasper Johnson and Moreno? I don't know. I'm of the belief that both those kids end up going there, but I actually give Mark Pope credit for, just kind of making sure that he locks down in-state recruiting when you have talent in state. Because speaking as a Michigan State fan, and whether that be like the Michigan High School Association's fault or not, letting talent get out of the state never ever sits right with me. So I give Mark Pope credit for going after these guys and getting these high level guys that are in his backyard.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is going to have success in that wheelhouse based on what he did for his first roster, right? Like he has a couple in-state kids that you believe in. Um, Perry and Noah, Travis Perry, Trent Noah. Like
Yeah.
now, again, some of those guys, or one of those guys, Perry was gonna be a Kentucky guy, but like to retain that commitment and then immediately swoop in on Trent Noah, like those are two of the better players in the state of Kentucky, and those are the two guys that like Mark Pope quickly moved on. Look, there could be obviously there's been a Kentucky pipeline to Kentucky, but like this could be Mark Pope's wheelhouse. Like you see it go from Travis Perry, Trent Noah right into Jasper Johnson and Malachi Moreno. There's a good class in 2026 too. Like Taylon Kinney and Jaden Johnson are in that class. That could be the foundation of Kentucky rosters going forward if he's able to secure these commitments. I love that he had these two visiting together, Jasper and Malachi. I like Malachi's tape, by the way. He does some guardy things. Like he has a lot of high assist games for a true 7-footer. He throws some kind of crazy outlet passes to guards. In general, he has really good skill to me for a true 7-footer. A guy that would fit very well into Mark Pope's offense. Also, do you know who played for Indiana Elite? Kind of just an interesting note. A Kentucky kid. Kentucky, Indiana, not too far away from each other, but like
That sounds like Mike Woodson's music.
sounds like Mike Woodson's music to Indiana Elite. Yeah, a lot of teams that are still going to want to make a play for Malachi Moreno. And with honestly, with all due respect to Kentucky, when you just look at Malachi Moreno, I get some Trace Jackson Davis, Khalil Ware vibes from him. Like true 7-footer that can do a lot with the ball and be dynamic. Like if there was a guy Mike Woodson could do the "this is my wheelhouse" play with, Malachi Moreno seems right up his alley.
You know who he kind of reminds me of, and this is good for Kentucky, I think?
Who?
He gives me Nick Richards vibes.
Oh, I could see that too. I could see that too. Not a bad comp. Um, I have to hit my Mark Pope quota though. Do you mind if I do it before we wrap the video?
Yeah, please.
Well, okay. So I think I said one nice thing already, right? About like he's doing really good with in-state Kentucky guys, right? Okay, let me come up with a second real quick so I can do the 2-for-1, like we said the other day. Mark Pope's really active right now. Like it seems like there's like a lot going on a daily basis, and he's really hitting the trail hard. His work ethic seems pretty high caliber, and I like that from him. Okay, now I get to do the mean one, right?
Yep.
He's got to figure out a better pose in the locker room for these photo shoots. Dog, every single one is the same, and every single one makes me roll my eyes. Like I just at least switch it up a little, right? Like, can we just get like arm around one time? Can we get like backs to each other with your arms crossed one time? Just the pure flex every single time is gonna get stale quickly, Mark.
I agree with you. He does need to change that up.
Is every time I see one every single day, which is a credit to him because he's working hard. But I want like let me get a second. It's like my mother, God bless her. I swear to God, you can go look up Tani Waddell on Facebook. I just outed her. Now she's gonna get horrible messages from people that tell her they hate her son. Anyway, if you go to her Facebook, her profile picture has been the same for 7 years. It's just the exact same pose. She does this like head turn looking up when she gets a new haircut. It's horrible. I make fun of her. You need more poses, Connie. Mark Pope needs more poses.
It's just crazy scenario right there.
It's completely true. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media Big Board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.